Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Office of Special Prosecutor summons GRA Commissioner-General Anthony Sarpong and other top officials of ongoing SML probe. Also coming up, lawyer for Ashanti Regional Chairman of New Patriotic Party, Antwi-Boasiako, expressed disappointment over Attorney General's decision to drop charges against General Manager of Akonta Mining. And much later on the program, 3 high-profile Ghana Immigration Service officials visit Tempani in Upper East Region in the wake of deadly gun attack that has left an officer dead and another critically injured. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, following the arrest of the acting head of legal at the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has directed 3 top officials of the authority to appear before it. They include the Commissioner-General Anthony Sarpong, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Finance, Celestine Annan, and the Technical Assistant to the Commissioner-General Kenneth Ejedia. Sources close to the OSP indicate that the summons is connected to a letter allegedly issued by the acting head of legal at the request of lawyers for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited in mid-October. Investigators believe the 3 senior officials instructed the letter's release. Mr. Ejedia and Mr. Sarpong are both former employees of KPMG, the firm that audited SML under a presidential directive earlier this year. According to the OSP sources, this is the second time the Commissioner General and the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Finance have been invited after the initial statement reportedly conflicted with the content of the letter in question. Well, last week, you remember that the Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin, announced he would soon file charges against former Finance Minister and 5 other officials of SML. Listen.
The outcome of the investigation is that the OSP will charge the following persons with various corruption and corruption-related offenses before the end of November 2025. 1. Kenneth Nanayao Oforiatta, former Minister of Finance. 2. Ernest Akori, Chef de Cabinet to Kenneth Nanayao Oforiatta as Minister of Finance. 3. Emmanuel Kofinti, former Commissioner-General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 4. Amishadai Owusu-Amwa, former Commissioner-General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 5. Isaac Krensel, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and General Manager of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. 6. Kwejo Damwa, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and Member of Parliament for German South constituency. As part of the process, the OSP will seek to recover the financial loss caused to the Republic from the persons listed above. Also, the OSP will recover a total amount of 125 million cedis from SML by way of a disgorgement of unjust enrichment of overpayment by the return of the benefit of this amount it obtained unfairly at the expense of the Republic.
And you had Kisia Jabin, he's the Special Prosecutor, lawyer for the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Antwi-Boasiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has expressed disappointment over the Attorney General's decision to drop charges against the General Manager of Akonta Mining, Edward Akoko. Mr. Akoko, who was previously the 4th accused person in the case, had reportedly offered to testify against Chairman Wontumi, leading to the withdrawal of the charges against him. Both Wontumi and Akoko had been facing multiple charges, including undertaking mining operations without a license and felling or abetting the felling of trees in forest reserve without written authorization. Wontumi's lawyer, Andy Apiakobi, says the decision by the Attorney General raises concerns about fairness and consistency in the prosecution of the case. Lord Edwasari is our man following this case. He joins us live on the line. Oh, Lord, what more can you tell us?
Right, Beatrice, so do you recall that there are two cases, criminal cases against Chairman Wontumi? The first has to do with some activities at the Summer Boy Reserve, where Wontumi has been charged for allowing or permitting two persons to mine in his concession without authority in that forest reserve. So, in that case, the prosecution today indicated to the court that they had filed their disclosures, but were yet to serve the defense lawyers, and so they would pray for a short adjournment to do so. Now, they were granted adjournment, and so that case has been adjourned to November 12 for the prosecution to serve their disclosures or documents that they rely on in the case. Now, the second one has to do with the activities in the Tunnel Forest Reserve, where Wontumi and then 4 others have been charged for operating mining without license, felling, and conspiracy to fell trees in the forest reserve. Now, that case is where the Attorney General has filed a notice to withdraw the charges against the fourth accused person, who is the general manager of Akonta Mining. That case didn't sit because the presiding judge in the matter has actually gone on leave, and so they came to pick a date, and so the case is in court on December 4. Now, this was where the counsel for Wontumi was speaking on the matter, reacting to the Attorney General dropping the charges against the fourth accused person. He wasn't too pleased. He indicated that the Attorney General, with all the resources he has, human resource and then other resources as well, he couldn't do much as far as research and investigation is concerned. He had to fall on his own accused persons, as in flipping them to testify against the other accused person. He described that as the Attorney General failing to administer his role as a Minister of Justice, which is also part of his role. He said it reeks of the Attorney General undermining the cause of justice, something he described as something that will fight critically against. So this was basically what happened in court today. Now, that case is back in court on December 4, and then we'll see how things will pan out from there.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Lord Edwasare is our court affairs correspondent. Now, executives of the National Democratic Congress in the Ahafo region have dismissed claims that 2 of the party's members of parliament were involved in last weekend's attack on members of the NIMOS task force. The task force had been conducting an operation against illegal mining activities near Bronikro Muwidium when it came under attack. The Ahafo Regional Communications Director of the NDC, Alfred Abuaji, says the allegations linking the MP for Asutifi North, Ebenezer Kwekwado, and his colleague MP for Asutifi South, Collins Dauda, to the incident are false and politically motivated. He insists both MPs had no hand in the resistance against the task force and have expressed their full support for the ongoing investigations.
Realizing the volatility of the situation, he again contacted Honorable Collins Dauda because the NIMOS operatives were reluctant to speak to any other individual. Collins Dauda in turn spoke directly to the director of NIMOS. What transpired between Collins Dauda and the director of NIMOS is not anything that we can talk about now. But Honorable Adu then addressed the crowd with the sole intention of restoring calm. His intervention untimely ultimately led to both parties, NIMOS officials and other groups, being escorted to the Fidium police station for safety and further engagement. We therefore wish to clarify that the involvement of both honorable members of parliament was purely to de-escalate the tension and prevent a possible breakdown of law and order, not to incite community members against a state and constitutional established body, NIMOS, as falsely reported by Erastus Asaridonko. The reason why Erastus Asaridonko made this report is surprising to everybody, because what he said about the 2 members of parliament is contrary to the facts on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, for the avoidance of doubt, we wish to emphasize the following facts. First of all, it is impossible for Honorable Ebenezer Kwekwado to have organized over 600 attacks within less than 5 minutes to attack NIMO operatives. I say less than 5 minutes because from where Ebenezer Kwekwado was informed about the standoff, to Boni Chrome is just 5 minutes drive away. So it is impossible for him to organize a tax numbering over 600 to come and attack an establishment of which he was a member in this establishment. 2, the MP arrived at the scene with only 2 people, as I said. So the multi-million-dollar question that we ask is that how is it possible for a member of parliament who, upon reaching the site, introduced himself honorably to the operatives of NIMOS that he is a member of parliament of Asutifi North? Himself, his vice chairman, and his driver. How can these 3 persons attack a soldier? An armed soldiers. Point 3, Honorable Ado's presence in Fide was purely coincidental.
And you have the communications director of the governing NDC in the Ahafo region, Alfred Abuaje, denying allegations there of party members who are in parliament attacking and mobilizing the thugs in that area to attack NIMOS officials. Meanwhile, the MP for Asutifi North is expected to report to the police to assist with the investigations following an official police invitation. Residents and traditional authorities of Yakasi in the Awin municipality are urgently appealing to the government for intervention as illegal mining activities, Galamsey, continue to pollute and destroy their primary source of drinking water. They are specifically accusing the Forestry Commission of failing to act against the miners who are operating with impunity within the nearby forest reserve. The stream of Yakasi, which was initially the main source of water for domestic activities for the community, has now been rendered muddy and poisonous by persistent illegal mining. Let's hear what the community members told us.
Banisena, what did you say where they know it?
See, I'm to me fine here. That I'm saying no, I'm asking soon. This I'm got up pipe and some I'm game coupon. I made it a business. No. I say,
the pipe and I will croon. I say,
the silk was so being so no Casacas.
Bula no ya buoso.
Bula into the sea, I'm young, so be I'm the a man so close to the same, but you know, a course school can see it. I'm running to me, man. Okay, you're saying no more essence. See, I'll call up pain the sea, course school. Says our friends to see I'm scour him at the man. It's no more said, no. It's soon the among myself today. Okay,
all right.
And you have a resident of the Iwin community in Tree and in Summary saying that the main water that they use for drinking, cooking, washing, etc. has been polluted, and that she in particular doesn't have money to buy extra water and is asking for help. Well, community leaders, including the chief and assembly member, are now making a direct appeal to the Western North Regional Minister and the Iwin Municipal Chief Executive to take steps to deal with the problem now.
And since I know dear, yeah, as honorable member, means me as some man say and forest in the moon. The quite challenges a baby basis on and better. What's throw be back pass on power, because I say, I'm going to say my may because forest full, one I don't know. For money on why I know forest walk forest no and pa area and yeah, where's the forest for our moko and pa so moon can't say. This is open near the idea and out forestry. Send your bay or move go ahead, say, na kofa bi no na ya asem. Nti we de e be sra ban panifo. Nsuo ye nkwa. Samo ameboa ye a, o di akese ye ni ba bi a ye sansu.
Let's bring you some more on this. And the Lands Ministry has challenged aggrieved mining operators whose licenses have been revoked to go to court for their grievances to be addressed. The Deputy Minister, Yusuf Suleimana, told the Public Accounts Committee earlier today that there is enough evidence of individuals who owned concessions but did not but did not have the right license. He says some even attempted to sell off their concessions to other people because they had no use for them. He also blamed past leadership of the ministry and the Minerals Commission for those gaps that contributed to illegal mining activities across the country, stating that over 270 licenses have been revoked. And we'll bring you some more on that later. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. To stay.
Hello, Ghana. It's a new year and Bills Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bills offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bills is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Finest tunes in sync with a soothing voice. 3 Lounge with AJ.
Are you tired of the same old routine? Need a break from the stress and chaos of everyday life? Well, step into the 3 Lounge, your world of absolute relaxation and great music with yours truly, AJ Akwako Sapon. Welcome to the best mid-morning show in the capital and beyond.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Now, top security officials have arrived in the Upper East region following Sunday night's deadly attack on 2 Ghana Immigration Service officers at Nagani in the Tampani district. The Deputy Controller General of Immigration in charge of Command Post and Operations, Lord Ofori Frifra, and the General Officer commanding the Northern Command of Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier General Wolanyo Agbebo, are leading a high-level security delegation to the area. Let's cross over now to Castro Senyala, who is with the team. He joins us live on the line. Castro, if you can tell us more, remind us of really what transpired, which is why we're having this high delegation going to or coming to your part of the country. Hello, Castro, can you hear us? We'll have to correct that line to Castro Senyala.
Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. FM.
Yeah.
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your inspirational gospel mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3FM 92.7.
A journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire. Come forward. Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama taji.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you for staying. Let's go to the Upper East region, where I did tell you that top security officials have arrived in that area following Sunday night's deadly attack on two Ghana Immigration Service officers at Nagani in the Tampani district. And Castro Senyala is our man. He's following this. He joins us live on the line. Castro, I was asking you earlier if you could remind us of what exactly happened, the reason we're seeing these top officials in your part of the country.
Currently on the move, so the network may pose a bit of challenge. But if I got you right, yes, on Sunday there was a deadly gun attack on two immigration officers, leading to the death of one of them, unfortunately. And so, following that tragic incident, the Immigration High Command has since been joining the police investigations to bring the perpetrators to book. And so, Deputy Comptroller General of the Immigration Service in charge of command posts and operations arrived today in the Upper East region, Bogatanga specifically, where he engaged with the military and also visited one of the injured officers. The injured officer who is still at the the regional hospital in Bogatanga. The Deputy Comptroller General in charge of operations interacted with the injured officer, where he encouraged them to be strong and also told them that the service is solid behind him in terms of support to ensure that he recuperates nicely. He says that the Immigration High Command is aware of the situation and they're doing everything within within resources and within their power to make sure that he's out safely. The security chief, the immigration chief, would address me later on after he's toured the Timpani area, where we are currently heading to, where he will engage the troops on the ground to ascertain the situation on the ground and to understand what really happened, and also to boost the morale of the troops who have since been on patrol and partnering with other state security agencies to ensure that they fish out the perpetrators and especially retrieve the true weapons belonging to the Ghana Immigration Service that were taken by the perpetrators. So that's currently what's happening. As we speak now, we just passed Boko Timpani, and they said much, but from his actions, you can say that he got to get to the ground.
Oh, the line of Castro Senyala, our man in the Upper East region, really not helping. But of course, he did tell us that they're moving and there could be a challenge with the line. We'll bring you update as and when we have it. But I was telling you earlier as well about the Lands Ministry challenging aggrieved mining operators whose licenses have been revoked to go to court for their grievances to be addressed. Let's listen to the Deputy Land Minister speaking earlier.
Where some people have concessions that they didn't need it. They didn't even know where
the occurrence of this infraction that the Auditor General picked up.
It's a very interesting question. Why did that happen? It happened because those who were at the helm of affairs didn't implement the law as it's supposed to be implemented. And that was why those infractions were, those infractions came up. People had concessions when they didn't need it. There's evidence where some people have concessions that they didn't need it. They didn't even know where the land is. And so we have reviewed the small-scale licenses, like I said earlier on. About 1,200, close to 1,300 licenses were revealed. And when we reviewed them, about 907 irregularities or infractions were identified. We further checked and realized that some were administrative in nature. And so those that were administrative in nature, we asked Minerals Commission to resolve them themselves, which they did. But as I speak to you, just last week, about 278 small-scale mining licenses were revoked. They were revoked because we found that a lot of irregularities that you cannot even resolve were the reasons why we have to revoke them. For instance, if you were to go through the process of getting a small-scale license, you go into a software called MCAST, where you put your application. Where you are going to do this mining, the community will have to be involved. And so the officer there will have to write a report. And in that report, the officer is supposed to recommend whether to give that concession or not. We found out that even in so many cases where the officers had said that don't go ahead, these are the reasons why I'm asking you not to go ahead, some officers went ahead and approved and gave out those concessions. We have revoked them, and we challenge them to take us to court. Again, there were instances where a concession is so close to a community. Indeed, if you were to mine, you end up mining within the houses of the people. And so the officers professionally recommended that do not give out these concessions. They were given. And so we have revoked them. In other instances, there's a high tension line running through the concession, and the officer will say that do not approve. These were approved. We have revoked them. There were instances where the chiefs will sit in their palaces, and then somebody will walk to them and on their face will just fly a certificate. I've received a letter from Minerals Commission to come and mine, when the owners of the land were not consulted. And that's not what the law says. The law says that you must involve them, you must consult them. Now we have received quite a number of petitions from chiefs when we took over, and so those were also investigated, and they were part of those that we revoked. So what we are saying is that we will sanitize the system and let people who really want to mine come and take those concessions in mind. We have evidence where you have people who have come for concessions and now went around looking for people to sell it to. That is not what we are asking for. And so such instances, we have revoked them, and we want those who want to do mining to come, go through the process, get your mine license, and whatever support that the government will give to you to go and do your mining, you do it.
And you had the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister Yusuf Suleiman speaking earlier today at the Public Accounts Committee. Now, residents of Sapiman and nearby communities have taken to the street to protest at the absence of a footbridge in the ongoing Nsawam-Kumasi Highway expansion project. They claim that the concerns were ignored during stakeholder consultations and fear for the safety of school children and pedestrians who cross the busy stretch daily. And we'll bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.